I've decided to return to Billy Connolly. This particular bit, Old Lady on a Bus, has been recommended multiple times, so I decided I would check it out. The video itself is not too terribly long, so let's go ahead and just jump into this and maybe have a good laugh.
I was on a bus years ago, and I thought I was on my own. No, I was with my cousin John, a very crazy person. And he was sitting on my right. And I was sitting in this bus in a place called Clydebank. We were going home to... Fucking hooray for Clydebank. And... God help us all. So, I'm going to Clyde. Now, the bus at the terminal was late and taken off. And then whoosh, up, to make up the time, the guy's going like a bat out of hell. Whoosh.
Oh, no.
It's a double-deck bus. It was one of the most awful things I ever saw in my life. And yet, funny. Awful at the time. Afterwards, fucking hysterical. You know that weird shit? If you go camping and you get washed out and you're in misery and you come home, you're telling your friends, you piss yourself laughing. And Glasgow's like that, you know. And New York might be the only other, Liverpool might be the only other town I know where you will say, oh, you should have been here yesterday. Tam was trying to fix the puncture. And he had the thing up in that shitty jack. He's pushing it up. It's a jack for a Mini. This thing's a 1953 Riley. He's got it up like that. So it weighs more than the building he lives in. Go like that. He's fixing the puncture. The fucking car came flying down. Right in top of his hand and his fucking pinky flew off. What? Hey! Oh, what a laugh. I had to take it up to the hospital. Nearly pissed myself laughing.
Okay.
What? Well, you know that thing? Well...
The double-decker bus.
happened.
Okay, so getting back to the double-decker bus, and I'm just going to say this because I think I might forget. He was talking about the bus driver driving like a bat out of hell really fast, and it was on a double-decker bus. You know what that actually reminded me of is that scene from the Harry Potter movie. Was it The Prisoner of Azkaban? Number 3, where they were on that big bus and they were going all through the streets and everything, and the bus was driving real crazy and it was doing stuff like get real skinny, and when it would go between buildings or go between vehicles or something. That's what that reminded me of. So that's what's going to be stuck in my head when I listen to this. I just know it. Okay, sorry. Back to it. I'm going to skip back a little bit.
That happened. John and I, my cousin, I'm sitting... Now, for those of you who don't know, there's a double-deck bus. There's a door at the back with a big pole and in the middle. And if you were standing on the platform where that was, holding on, there's another wee bar here at the back, so you can stand like that if it's going a bit fast. Or like that.
Okay.
So this... We're away at the top, and we've struggled
like
up this hill.
Bars on the train.
Got round, turned right, and now there's a long grade going down, a gradient, and there's a fork at the bottom.
No.
So we've taken off at the top. We are flying.
Oh, gosh.
Right.
Feels like a roller coaster,
Trying to make up time, I suppose. When I heard the noise, and a woman come down the stairs. An old woman.
Oh,
An older woman. I don't know how old. The kind of woman you would say, look at that old woman.
Okay.
She come down the stairs, and it's a kind of a spiral thing. So she come down, this poor wee woman, and she's got a wee shopping bag, shopping bag with very nothing in it as far as I could see.
But a wee woman.
She makes a dash across the platform. This bus is like fucking...
Oh, no. Oh, no.
She makes it to the platform. She's got a hold of the pole and the wee pole at the back. And she's looking at us and she's going, isn't it hellish, son? I'm saying, I know, they're going too fast. Aye. The bastards, and don't even tell them all. Well,
His face, y'all.
the guy came to the fork in the road.
Oh, no.
And he's talking to his conductor. Hey, fucking, oh, for fuck's sake. He whacks it round to the right. The thing's on two wheels. Well, Jesus! And I looked up and she was gone. No.
Oh, no.
When I say she was gone from the bus.
Oh, no. Did she fall out?
She was still there, but she was about 2 feet out.
Oh.
At the same height as she had been on the platform, looking kind of bewildered. But now her hair's flying back.
Was she hanging on
and
outside?
so is a shopping bag, like a wee flag. And the bus, she's flying at 70 miles an hour and getting steadily lower like that. And eventually,
oh, God.
she reached the ground and took off. So now she's running at 70 miles an hour. And she was like real old. She was an old lady running like the fucking clappers. And her crutch is about a foot off the ground.
No.
And there was a big hedge at the thing. And she shot up the left foot. And we shot up the right foot. And I never saw her again.
Oh,
And I've often wondered about her.
no.
You know, where did she run to? Is she running still?
Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh. Okay, that quit and it didn't go to an ad. Maybe because this wasn't in my to watch list, even though I had it on my list. I have like a, sorry for the sniffing, y'all. Allergies. Okay, I'm going to probably cut that out. Anyway, I didn't have this on my YouTube list, but I had it on my written down Todoist spreadsheet list. I can't decide what I'm going to end up sticking with. Todoist. I ran out of entries to put. That's how many suggestions I had. And then I was putting it in an old diary, and I was like, I can't really organize them by name. So then I decided to create a table in WordPerfect, and that's what I think I'm probably going to stick with. Anyway, well, I was hoping to find out what happened to that poor old lady, and I was having a little trouble. I'll be honest, I was having a little trouble visualizing. So when she flew out, but she was still holding on to a pole? Is that what happened? And she was kind of like being dragged or running along outside. And then when the bus veered in the other direction, she just kind of flew away. This is like something out of a movie, y'all. This is the way he describes it anyway. He's got a really vivid way to describe a story, and it's pretty dang funny. I got a lot of reaction to the other Billy Connolly bit that I reacted to, which was what was it? Oh, the hilarious bit, the one that he told about the dwarf, who was a butthole on the bus. What is it with him? Okay, his buses. Does he have any more bus stories? Anyway, what was I saying? Where was it? Oh, I had mentioned in that video that I had never heard of him before. So a lot of people are just quite shocked at this. Some people have been a little bit rude about it. Someone even in my comment section went so far as to say that that me not knowing about him was like a typical American. Like a typical American, they think anybody outside of America, like anything outside of the U.S. like doesn't exist or whatever. And I was like, well, for one thing, that was totally out of left field, because there have been some comedians I've reacted to that are fellow Americans, and I've never heard of them before. But anyway, whatever. People can get a little bit testy online, can't they? I digress. But I had recognized his face, and I mentioned that he looked familiar to me. And I can't remember if I mentioned in the video that I realized that I had seen him and stuff, but that he, or if I had just said he looked familiar to me, like maybe I had seen him and stuff. Well, I had seen him in some things. I had forgotten. I mean, I knew his face looked familiar, but I had forgotten the titles that I had seen him in. And my brother pointed out, and some other people also pointed out, that he was in Boondock Saints. Well, I've only seen that movie once. And I didn't remember him specifically being in there, but he's one of those people where you remember their face, you just might not know their name. So I never knew what his name was, and I absolutely did not know that he was a stand-up comic. So, that's what I mean when I said never heard of him. I hadn't really I'd seen his, like Bill Burr. I know now, looking back, that I have probably been exposed to Bill Burr like on Conan O'Brien, but for whatever reason, he didn't stick in my brain as like he didn't. Some people, you see them in movies or you see them whatever, and it's not until for whatever reason later they make an impression on you. And to you, they're like a person you've never seen before. You've never been introduced to their material before. And then you realize looking back, oh yes, I saw them. They were in this other. So yes, I had seen Billy Connolly, but I didn't know he was Billy Connolly, and I did not know he was a stand-up comic. Also, another thing to add, a lot of these people that, I've never heard of before, whatever, I was never really big into stand-up comedy. Yes, I've had some exposure. I know who George Carlin is. I knew of Norm Macdonald. I've heard some of Brian Regan or Reagan. Brian, I don't know if you pronounce his name Regan or Reagan. I think Brian is his first name. My brother had introduced me to some of his comedy years ago. And I'd seen some, bits with my folks, and like when my brother would show some funny stuff to my mom and I'd be there or whatever, laughing at it. But it was not anything that I have consistently watched. So a lot of the people that, I know Eddie Izzard, but I'd never seen his stand-up stuff before. So a lot of people that are new to me, that are known to a lot of people, well, that's just because it's not a genre of entertainment that I have really been heavily into. So yeah, there's just a lot of people I don't know. No, I don't live under a rock. No, I'm not Amish. And no, it's not because I'm American. It's just because I have not typically been into this sort of material before, and now I am. So I'm being introduced to a lot of very funny and hilarious, very funny and interesting people. Let's just say that. Anyway, Billy Connolly is really, really hilarious to me. And I found out after my first video reaction in commentary to his material is that from what I understand, no two shows are the same. Like each show is different. He sort of makes it up as he goes along, which is just fascinating. I mean, how in the world? That's quite a level of talent right there, you guys, that someone could just ad-lib this sort of stuff. And a lot of people are just really love this guy and seem to worship his talent. And I get it, because he is really funny. And it's fun to watch him and his facial expressions. And I love his accent. Yeah, so he's Scottish. I remember in the other video, I was a little bit unsure. Is he Scottish? Is he Irish? I thought he was Scottish, but I didn't want to say he's Scottish and then be wrong. Sometimes I can't really tell a difference between them, but when I actually listen to them side by side, I can tell the difference between them. So anyway, whatever. Yeah, he's fun to watch, and I will be checking out more of his stuff. I've got a list of his stuff that's been recommended to me that I will get around to. Ricky Gervais, I have not done a video reaction to him yet, but I am familiar with some of his stuff. I did see his Golden Globes. Was it the Golden Globes or was it the Oscars? One of those pompous award shows. I did see part of his appearance on that, because I was seeing either on Twitter or seeing on Facebook about how he was just ripping them a new one, basically. So I was like, well, I got to go watch this. So I saw little bits and pieces of it, but then later there was a montage put together. And people have recommended that I do watch that for my channel, but I've already actually seen that video. So it wouldn't be a new reaction to me. But there are videos floating around, excuse me, of some of his other appearances on those shows, which, gosh, I've got dust in my throat. Sorry, you guys. All the construction. That I don't think I've seen all of those. I have seen some bits and pieces of his past, host appearances on these shows, but not all of them. So I may check out some of them for the channel at some point. Anyway, okay, well that was pretty rambly. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and go check out the Mandalorian trailer. It just dropped today. Technically yesterday. So I'm looking forward to watching that. I guess that's it, you guys. Later.